Hey everyone, Mo here, and before the video begins, I just want to let you guys know that my schedule has opened up for me to do coaching again. So if you're interested in private one-on-one coaching for me to help you, whether you're a newer player and you want to excel at the game very quickly and learn the fundamentals without developing any bad habits early, or if you're an experienced player who's already maybe platinum or diamond in your top 1%, but you need some help filling in the gap to get you to that 0.01%, to make you just some of the best, then hit me up on Discord and I can get you in some private one-on-one coaching lessons to help you polish up any skills you want to refine and help you learn all of the secrets to becoming a top player. That's it. I hope you enjoy the video. Hey everybody, Mo here, and welcome to another episode of Meta Monday. So, we're going to go into this week. We're going to see how the meta evolved from the last week. So this would be the first full, 7 days or so that we'd have after the expansion. The expansion came out about a week and a half ago. So this is the first time we get a full week's worth of data to analyze the ladder and see what people are playing on ladder, what people are preferring to play on ladder, if there are any new concepts coming up, or if people are just kind of, jamming some good old-fashioned consistent decks that have already been built. But before we get into the meta, I wanted to remind you guys that 72% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to me. So if you guys could do me a huge favor and click that subscribe button and help me out a lot with the YouTube algorithm, and then comment down below what deck you want to see me play or make a deck guide on in the future. I do read those, and I have a couple. My next 2 videos are actually deck recommendations from the comments, so keep an eye out for those, and then you have to come back and see if I use your comment in a video, so that way you can be like, oh, I made him play that, that's my deck. So that's it for the intro. Let's get into the meta report. Oh, also, this week, I put the link to Runeterra.ar in the description below. So if you ever want to check out this website to, look at the meta stats on not Monday, if you wanted to check it out on Tuesday or Sunday or something, the day you wanted to be testing ladder. If you're like, oh, it's Tuesday and you want to grind, you want to see what people are playing, you can click last 2 days to see what the most updated thing is, and you can say in the last 2 days most people are playing Darkness and Pike and Trundle Gnar, but even though in the wrong button, in the last 7 days it looks more like this, more spread out. You don't even see Lurk on here. That usually means that Lurk is kind of on the come up. People realize, oh hey, Lurk is really good into, Darkness and Trundle timelines and stuff like that, so they want to start playing it more, and this last 2 days is a more representation of what you could be seeing today, whereas the last 7 days shows you more of what the overall meta looks like and how it can evolve and how you should be trying to evolve it. But anyways, let's get into the actual meta Monday with number 1 deck, Trundle Gnar Timelines. So Trundle Gnar Timelines is a really good deck. I say really good with a little asterisk. This deck is only good if there isn't aggro in the meta and there isn't Ionia in the meta. As soon as there is either aggro or Ionia, then this deck just kind of gets beat up a lot of the times. Which I find really funny, that this deck is really good but extremely slow, so you just need some faster decks in there to kind of beat up this deck and show them what's what. But the idea behind this deck is really cool. I mean, you play timelines, you get big value out of all your small tempoed units. It makes Aloof Traveler a good card, makes Tavern Keeper a good card, Icevale Archer a good card, Pharaoh's Financer a good card, Boom Baboon, stuff like that, right? So the idea is you play these cards that give you good value, like Flame Chomper, 6-cost spell, the Aloof effect, stuff like that, but then you actually get good stats behind it as well. So instead of getting a 4-mana 2/3, you get a 4-mana, whatever the average 4-mana cost is, or you can high roll into a 4-mana 7/7. So Aloof Traveler turns into 4-mana 7/7, draw a card, make your opponent discard their most expensive card in their hand, and it gets nuts. Yeah, this deck was pretty crazy. I don't remember who exactly invented it. I think it was I just remember it being popularized before LW. I don't know if he invented the deck or not, but I remember seeing him popularize it, and then all of Hydra kind of just taking over ladder with this deck. But deck is really solid for sure, especially until people start moving on to the aggro or Ionia decks. But as soon as people do move on to Ionia or aggro, this deck pretty much just falls off extremely hard. Alright, deck number 2, Sin of Vigar. So this is just going to be Darkness. Nothing crazy. I'm pretty sure people are just playing Darkness in order to beat the other slow decks out there. As here, its best matchup is, Trundle Timeline. So we see here it's good into Trundle Timelines, the Burn, the Swain Gnar, the Spiders, the Yaya. basically, if you hate aggro, you just play Darkness. I personally don't think Darkness wins too many aggro matchups, but I think also that a lot of people play aggro incorrectly and make it really easy to lose to things like Withering Wail, Box, Group Shot, Vile Feast, stuff like that. So, if you want to beat aggro, typically you're just going to want to switch over to Darkness, get all your lifesteal, get all your, infinite removal spells, your 1 damage. This deck plays like, 7 ping spells, and then 2 Wail, a Box. It's not very fun for your average or aggro player to deal with. Number 3 is going to be Scouts. So Scouts, I keep telling you guys, Scouts is broken. This Durant Sculptor card made Scouts so good. Like, there's 2 major things that have evolutionized Scouts lately, and that's made Scouts a really good tier 1 deck. 1 is Durant Sculptor, and 2 is Vanguard Sergeant. Vanguard Sergeant actually makes a lot of your matchups not that bad. It either makes them even or sometimes slightly favored, because it gets you a 4 Demacia. So, for instance, in the past, like, the Draven Ezreal matchup used to be horrible, the PNZ Noxus, because they would just go, like, kill your unit, kill your unit, kill your unit, kill your unit. Okay, you lose. Well, with this version, with the new, like, Vanguard Sergeant, you could just go play a unit, threaten a pass. If your opponent offers a pass, you just take it, and you just waste their entire turn. And you can go like play 1 unit pass, play 1 unit pass, and then eventually you'll just have a full board. You can 4 Demacia, and now your opponent has to find a way to deal with your full wide swing board on a 4 Demacia, usually with like a sit-through or something like that, and it's not very easy or fun for them to do. So 4 Demacia made things insanely good for you. And then on top of that, Durant Sculptor giving your allies +1 HP is nuts. This card is like, you could curve this card on turn 2 into Misfortune on 3, and then now you have a 3-4 Misfortune, and it is insanely hard to beat a 4 HP Misfortune. It's really hard to kill anything with 4 HP, especially on turn 3. So, especially killing something that has 4 HP, and you can have like Ranger's Resolve and Sharpsight and stuff coming up in the future. I play 1 Shield of Durant in my version, so I play a whole bunch of different safe spells. I think Scouts is so good. I think if you want to beat these control decks, like you want to beat the Timelines, you want to beat the Sin of Vigar, like Scouts is definitely the deck to do it with. Next up is Lurk. So Lurk is, again, just another aggro deck. It says it's actually pretty bad in the Trundle timelines, but you see here it's really good into Darkness. You beat Scouts sometimes, but you really beat like Swain Teemo, your Demacia Targon, and then just your fringe decks. And that's what aggro decks are really good at, especially things like Lurk. The things you're really good at is just beating these not great decks, beating the fringe decks, while also taking out like 1 to 2 top decks. So out of the 3 most played decks, Lurk has a good matchup into 2 of them. And then you also have the added benefit of just being a nice, fast aggro deck. So anytime you're against some type of fringy, weird, like you don't know what it's doing, then you can just, then you just go into your like Lurk game plan and you just kill your opponent before they have a chance to really do anything. All right. Coming into the bottom half of things, we're starting to see the Bandle City. So far, we've seen 1 Bandle City deck, and it was Vigar. And this isn't typically the Bandle City deck you see when people are complaining about Bandle City, because the Bandle City cards in this deck are actually like probably the most fair Bandle City cards. But coming into this bottom half, you'll notice Bandle City Noxus, Bandle City Noxus, Bandle City Noxus, Bandle City Shurima. Like, oh, Bandle City Demacia. I actually expected a lot more Bandle City in the top 8. Not gonna lie. I was ready to load up for my Meta Monday and have it legit be like, oh, okay, here's 6 Bandle City decks in all of top 8 most played decks. But it's not that bad, you know. It's fortunately it's not that bad. So coming in at number 5 is Gnar, Ziggs, Burn. So this is Bandle City Demacia, but this is a more burn aggro variant where you basically just play a bunch of 1-drops, you swing at them, and then you curve the game out with your Gnar and your Teeny Dactyl and your burn spells. So it just says like, hey buddy, I'm going to play a bunch of 1-drops, get you pretty low, and then after all that, I'm just going to go decimate, and you die. Or I'm going to play this Teeny Dactyl, you're going to have to find a way to deal with a 6-5 unit that's pinging you for 1 every single turn, and if you don't, you're going to die. And this deck is really strong. I think it might be a little underwhelming. I just think aggro as a whole right now is underwhelming. I said this last
last week in my Meta Monday video, I think a lot of the top decks kind of just out aggro you or keep up with tempo and then just have a way better late game. Like for instance, Akshan Gnar, it does this. Like Pantheon Taric does this. Pantheon Taric doesn't do it very well, but a lot of other Bandle City, like mid-range style decks like Yaya or whatever, they literally just match you in early game tempo, and then they just have a bigger win con down the line. But yeah, that's basically all this deck does. It just goes fast and kills things. This deck's pretty good against, yeah, the Trundle timelines. I can see here has a 57% win rate. It absolutely smokes Lurk, smokes Pantheon. So this deck is just very, very solid in beating anything that's slow, as well as it beats other aggro decks because you have the added benefit of things like the Gnar and the Teeny Dactyl, so your late game is a lot better than theirs. Coming in number 6 is another Bandle City Demacia deck, Bandle City Noxus deck, but they are not the same. This Bandle City Noxus deck is more of a control style deck or a tempo style deck. Basically, the goal here is to abuse the fact that Gnar grants you free Pokesticks. So you ping a bunch of stuff down. If you remember Swain Teemo, this deck is basically Swain Teemo, but it's just evolved with Gnar and Spotted Toad. Because when Spotted Toad levels up, it basically just Withering Wails your opponent's board, which is amazing. Is this card definitely the best card in the game has ever seen? No, but the card is still very good, yes. So it abuses that. It abuses Gnar. I've seen some versions of this deck even play Teeny Dactyl. I see this version has opted out of playing Teeny Dactyl. But yeah, so the goal here is just control the board and do some chip damage over and over and over again until you eventually level up the Swain, level up the Gnar, or slam down like a Leviathan or something, and then you just win from there. This is a very solid deck. It's kind of hard to play, but once you learn how to play the deck, and if you're into this, like, I remove everything and then I hit you for, like, 2 damage at a time or something, then this is the deck for you. Alright, and then the last 2 decks here is going to be Bandle Tree. No surprises here. I think Bandle Tree is, like, absolutely broken. I think Bandle Tree, with the addition of Gnar, now can play every single region it needs to, main decked, and not in, like, bad cards. Which is, pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. So, I'm very, very scared of Bandle Tree in tournaments. Every tournament I've been to, there have been multiple, like, Darkness plus Bandle Tree lineups, and they've been absolutely crushing it. So, I think, yeah, now that you get to play, like, Gnar, Poppy, Kinnan, there's your 3 hardest regions right there, and then you just play Aloof Travelers for P and Z, and everything else is free. Everything else you just get good units for, and it's free. So, Tree is... I legitimately think Tree is, like, one of the best decks in the game right now. I just think people hate playing Tree, and I don't blame you guys, because I also hate playing Tree. I only play it if I absolutely have to. But yeah, this deck is absolutely nuts right now. Tree is nuts. It's built different right now. And the last deck in the Meta Monday in this top 8 is Gnar Akshan, or General Gnar is what I've heard, or Gnarly or something. I don't know. People have all types of crazy names, but basically it's an overwhelm deck. It's like a combo deck. If you remember playing Sivir OTK, where you would play Sivir Akshan, Ionia Shurima, the idea was you got down a Ruin Runner, gave it Ghost or something, and then you would say you wouldn't have to give it Ghost, but basically you would just do Ruin Runner and then give it double attack with Fury of Fist, and then you just OTK your opponent. That's basically what this deck is you just play like Ruin Runner, or you play Akshan or Gnar, you Papercraft Dragon to give it double strike or double attack, and then you just give it Overwhelm with like Absolver if your Akshan's leveled or your Gnar's leveled, then you use Absolver, give your thing Overwhelm, and you win. If it's Ruin Runner, then you don't even have to go through all that. You literally just go play Ruin Runner on 5, Papercraft on 6, Shapestone, and you just like win the game. Or you go like Ruin Runner on 5, Papercraft on 6, and you go Shapestone, and then you wallop their blocker, and your opponent just dies. Because you stun their blocker so they don't have any way to like, prevent damage. And Ruin Runner plus Papercraft plus a single Shapestone is lethal. Or if you want to like, you know, Absolver wallop, but Shapestone wallop does the same thing. So you have, again, you know, turn 6, just, okay, oops, I killed you type thing with this 1, 2, 3, 4 card combo. So if you can get these 4 cards in your hand by turn 6, hey, you win the game. Congratulations. I think this deck's not actually that great. I think it's kind of gimmicky. I think it's very easy to deal with the Ruin Runner nowadays. I think beforehand, the Spell Shield was really hard to deal with and really annoying. But now we just have so many ways to ping off the Spell Shield and then actually put, you know, a blocker in front of it, or there's so many stuns. Like every deck can like deal with this card, right? So like this plays mini morph, this plays like multiple ways to kill your unit, this plays, I mean, well, this is just gonna kill you. Lurk is just gonna kill you. Scouts is probably just going to kill you. Darkness has ways to, you know, ping off the spell shield, and then you have fast speed darknesses with Cinder, or you also have like mini morph and stuff like that to take away the overwhelm. This deck plays frostbite, so like every deck in this top 8 can actually deal with the combo. It's just a lot of fun, and you catch people off guard all the time. It's just like a Go Fish deck, right? You basically put down the Rune Runner, put down the Dragon, and you just say, like, hey, buddy, do you have an answer to this? Because if not, I'm just going to take a free dub here on turn 6. And if you do have an answer to it, then, like, that sucks. I can just reset up again later and try again, you know, in a couple turns if you allow me to. So, I think this deck is very fun. I think it's very cool. I don't think it's the best deck in the world, but it's definitely a very fun deck. So that's going to be it for the top 8 of the Meta Monday for this last week. Make sure to, again, to leave a comment down below letting me know what deck and what videos you want me to put out this week. If you see anything on this top 8 you want me to play, let me know. I'm really excited for this meta. I think this meta is great. We have so many different decks right now. It just in top 8, like, look, we have like this low control deck, combo, aggro, like control mid-range, Bandle tree. It's like combo. Like, we have so many decks here that are like either mid-rangey or control or combo or aggro. Like literally every type of archetype has a deck representing itself in this top 8. So I think the meta we're in is really, really nice. I think, yes, Bandle City can be very annoying sometimes. And I think it's, you know, Gnar, I don't think it's balanced. I think there are a couple balance issues. But overall, I think this meta is really well diverse, and I'm really having a lot of fun with it. So I hope you guys are as well. Let me know what decks you guys have been playing on the first week of expansion. If you've been playing something new, or if you've just been going tried and true with some old kind of like already refined deck trying to hit masters or rank 1 or whatever it is your goal is. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.